project today is, after limping along last year with an extremely weak battery, I finally broke down and bought a new battery. So let's see if we can do a cold start. So this thing has been sitting pretty much since, oh shoot, what would I say? August or September. Oh. Give a good 4 pumps there. Let's give it one more for luck. See if I can find the key. Well, she's not happy, but she started. So, of course, once you start the car up, you got to take it to the car wash and get her all cleaned up. Getting ready to clean her up, and I realized I never did a video on what it's like to actually drive a car that was built in 1968. So I'll try to do a little driving demo here for you in a little bit. So bear with me, I'm going to get it car washed. All right, guys, what's it like driving a 1968 Plymouth Satellite? Well, it's pretty awesome. That is, after driving my truck, which is like an exotic race car compared to this car, it does take a little bit of getting used to when you get back behind the wheel. First of all, right now the 318 is not running the best. There's a little bit of groaning from the transmission, and there's a definite droning in the back. When I first bought this car and I got it home off the trailer, I noticed kind of a groan from the rear differential. So I don't know if it's the ring and pinion or if it's wheel bearing. But anyway, the car always kind of had this groaning in the back. I do have that 8 3/4 323 Sure Grip in the Coronet. That's going to get taken out. We're going to rebuild it. We're going to put all new bearings and everything in it, and then rebuild the rear drum brakes. So I'll probably wind up putting some super stock leaf springs in the back of this so I can ditch the air shocks, and then hopefully that'll take away a lot of the noise in the back. Like I said, the transmission's kind of groaning. It's unhappy. It's pretty sluggish when you go to shift. There's a lot of clunking when you go from gear to gear. Now, back in the day when we used to race these column shift automatics, you would drop her down into low 1, and then when you get up to your RPM, you would just use your hand and give it the old click to second and then the click to drive. That's how I compensate for a lack of a 4-barrel. But I can't drive too far with this car. It's not licensed this year. I was going to switch over to the collector plates, so I haven't renewed my regular plates for this car. But I'll take you around the cul-de-sac, little subdivision here a bit. The power steering is over power steering, so it's sort of like driving a boat. When you're steering, you actually kind of drift, and you kind of have to negotiate in advance which direction you want it to go. And since there's very little feedback, you don't get that performance driving feel that you get from a modern Honda Civic. The power, or the lack of power drum brakes, also need a little bit of thought and consideration before you go about trying to stop. It's nothing bad. It does stop the car, and granted, these probably do need to have a good thorough maintenance to make them better, but it's not as bad as you would think. Now, I put the period correct bias ply tires on this car. They look awesome, but I don't know if you guys have ever worked out and used exercise balls, and you know what the ball feels like when you have your weight on it, you're kind of rolling around. Well, imagine having 2 of those on the front of your car. So you already got an overpowered steering, which kind of does away with some of the road feel when you're driving. And then now you're driving around on 2 exercise balls with circa 1968 bushings, which are all dry rotted and mostly perished. So you can imagine it's not as fun. You don't want to take corners fast. You can definitely feel the car leaning when you even take a turn at low speeds. I literally feel like I could feel the sidewalls giving on those tires as we're going around corners. But anyway, this is just kind of a quick drive. Do plan on doing some upgrades to make this car a lot better cruiser. Trying to debate if we just want to rebuild this 318 and put the satellite hood back on it, and then make this car more of a period correct cruiser. It'd probably do a lot better at car shows with your regular hood on it. But anyway, I also got that other 400 that I could build a big block for. But main thing is, with the 323 Sure Grip, if I built a nice mild 318 that would get good gas mileage and be a good touring motor, I could even go so far as to maybe put like a vintage air unit in this car, but I doubt I'll do that. I don't ever really need air conditioning. I like driving around with the windows down. But this could be my power tour car, and then this Super Bee would be my drag week car. But anyway, we're back from the car wash. It's kind of nice being able to start your car up in the car wash this time, and hope you enjoyed our little ride.